welcome to Absolutism Part 2. So, we talked about Louis XIV and the idea of an absolute rule. But now, we need to go on and talk about what else happened. Absolutism was not only in France with Mr. Louis here, but it spread throughout all of Europe. The first place we're going to go is Austria. Austria had a queen. Her name was Queen Maria Theresa. She loved the idea of absolutism. She also loved Louis and all the things he was doing in France. So she was hoping that she could bring that to Austria. So she formed a very tight government where she was mostly in charge, carrying on all of her daily duties. She did, however, make improved living conditions for the peasants, and she fought a lot of wars and took a lot of land from Poland. In Russia, there was Peter the Great. Peter the Great, who was called a Tsar. Peter the Great was in Russia. A Tsar Peter, traveled all around the world just so that he could better himself and come back and better his people. The problem was, both with Maria and with Peter, as with Louis, eventually the money runs out and things begin to go badly for this whole idea of absolute rule, when only one person can make the rules or make the decisions. And then after Peter the Great, Catherine the Great came along. She was so power hungry, took more land, extended her power, and became a very, very strong ruler, and Russia became a powerhouse in Europe under Catherine the Great. And then there was Prussia, a small country that we know really nothing about. We would know it today as modern-day Germany, but they had their ruler as well. His name was Frederick. Frederick the Great had a strong army, took over the land, loved the arts. So we see that this absolute power, this whole idea of absolute power, was taking over Europe. One ruler, the state making all the decisions, and the people just being there. As long as the rulers were taking good care of their peasants and their people, their subjects, everything was good. But as soon as the things began to fall apart, they got a little bit upset. So notice that we have France, Austria, Russia, Prussia, all latching on to this idea. Well, over here in England, there was another idea, that maybe they would create a parliament, so they would have the king and a ruling body. And it was taking on a lot of good publicity. The people were loving it. It was really, really doing well. But along came one ruler, Charles I, and he saw what was happening over in Europe, and he thought, I want to be an absolute ruler as well. And so he set up a way to kind of diminish the parliament's rule. Well, the people didn't like that. They were happy with what was happening in England, and where there was more say in the government and more say in what was going to be happening in their country. So the people rose up against Charles. And I just brought this picture because I thought you might like to know or see. Charles was executed, and all of these people showed up for his execution because they were so happy to get rid of him. And so along came a new group, or a new family to the monarchy. William and Mary. And King William and Queen Mary came along, and they established the government in England, a parliament and a monarchy working together. And to be sure that this idea, like Charles, never happened again, they established the English Bill of Rights, and the new monarchs took over the throne.